fuck up.
Okay, welcome back. I have a very, very special guest to kick off the month of June. Everyone knows when I talk about tea, I only talk about Jessica, Deerwomen. Today she's coming from, wait, what do I want to say? Today, all the way from Belgium. I was able to get lucky enough to actually get her to spend some time with me this morning, but it's actually evening where she's from. So cheers while I drink tea. You're drinking
Pinot de Chiron.
Oh, it sounds so beautiful when you say it. Jessica, how are you doing? You spent the whole month of February in Europe, and you were very quiet on social media as to what you were up to. Let's talk pre-quarantine. How was your trip in Europe?
It was great. I came over for 3 weeks, and then before the quarantine happened, and you know, there's such a difference between the United States and Belgium, and stuff started kind of slowly forming over there, where I had an intuition, a woman's intuition, you know, that I needed to come back, and I got invited back. So I immediately, 2 weeks later, flew back to Belgium, and then the quarantine happened that week, and I just decided to quarantine myself here. And so I've been here for 3 months, and yeah, I've definitely been taking a little bit of a break mentally from Deerwomen, but it's been very, very life-changing, so for everybody.
Oh, I can only imagine. So, you know, how the 3 months that you've been there, how are you? How are you? I just want to know how you're doing. I've been worried. I've been concerned. I just want to make sure you're okay. So how, from the beginning to right now, how has it been for you?
I think for everyone it's the same. You get very isolated, and then you get a little bit confronted with yourself, and you know, I lost a little bit of myself with ritual in terms of my occult studies and things like that. I was really conflicted with who I am as an artist, and as the last month has progressed, I've been quite well. I've been really much more inspired slowly, and just comfortable with being separate from my things, from my house, from my forest, things that I considered my own. Now I bring those things with me in my head, and I have more of a center, I think. And I think with everybody right now, we're all kind of finding ourselves without friends, without people, without our stuff. I mean, most people are quarantined within their house, but you know, I'm not in my house, I'm in an Airbnb, so it's a little bit different for me.
Absolutely. I can't imagine that any of this has been easy, especially when you said you're taking a break from Deerwomen and kind of going into yourself. So that actually, because I don't know, there's some connection that I have with you. I feel so one with you. I can feel your intuition sometimes with my own. It's amazing. So April 2nd, you did post, you made a beautiful post, and you were showing off your gorgeous Marjorie Cameron tattoo that was inspired by her. And you put, "Do you remember freedom? Now everything we have, we owe to our own art and artists." Give me a little bit about that, because you basically put the nail, you put it out there. It's obvious that, you know, I say this all the time. There's this quote from the Dalai Lama that I hold dear to, and I've held on to it for years. Basically, it says, the world doesn't need any more successful people in terms of societal standards. What the world needs are more healers. We need more artists. We need more people like us. So that's what I got out of that statement. So what inspired you to post that particular day?
Well, I think that's just the general theme of the quarantine, really, is when everything else is, what are we looking at? I mean, what struck me was that everybody is in the same situation, and so it was a very superficial thought. My favorite series and my favorite movies, I'm like wondering to myself, is there going to be a season 3? Are they filming this with social distancing? How are they going to do that? And then I realized all of my entertainment, all of my favorite Netflix shows, all of our favorite movies, everything is an art. And what do we do when we're inside by ourselves? We can't go out. we turn to art, we turn on our TVs, we open our books, we, go and paint something, we draw, we read. These are all artists. These are all forms of intuition coming through a vessel into someone's hands, into someone's brain. They're getting it out. So these are all artists, all art forms. So what do we have really when we're sitting at home by ourselves in these situations? Nothing but art. And so the artists are really the pivotal part of society. I mean, even in Belgium, where I am now, we wouldn't have tourism in the Provence or in France in the Provence without Van Gogh or an artist going to these locations, painting this scenery, this field in the middle of nowhere, bringing back this painting with different kinds of light and people looking at that and saying, oh, I want to see that in person. And it's in the middle of nowhere, and now it's a tourist spot. We owe these places we go to, we owe the tourism, we owe all these little secret spots that we go to in nature. We owe them to the artists. We know of them because people have taken a photo. So I really felt like that quote just kind of embodied everything that I really learned through, and everyone at the collective has really learned through this quarantine.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I wanted to bring up that the tattoo. It's gorgeous, and I realized just like the other day when I was going through your profile, I thought it was on your arm. It's like it's on your side here. Ouch!
It's completely down my rib cage. Yeah, it was so horrible. So
when did you get that done?
I got it done right like a couple of months before quarantine happened. So it was. Yeah. Do you have anything on your ribs?
Nope. I'm that big of a wuss.
It doesn't feel well. It's not completely the best place to get a tattoo that big, and it's a black work tattoo, so it's black ink, pure pain. But that's part of the.
Yeah, it's part of the process. I will admit that I got stir crazy and saw an opportunity and went and got a tattoo last week.
What did you get?
I got Michael Myers. I know I might get crucified for that. It's a work in progress.
That's huge. It's ginormous.
Right? And well, because I want to have a full sleeve, hopefully by the end of the year, depending on how things go. But he's a really good artist, and I trust him. And it's pretty clean. It was very strict on how they're running the operation. But sitting through that pain, I was thinking, okay, because there were parts where I was like cringing and dying inside because it was so painful. But I'm just sitting there smiling in the state of me. But I look at it. I'm sorry.
Who was your artist? Who did the tattoo?
Oh, I love it. He wants me to give him a shout out. His name is James, also known as Relapse Tattoo. So I'll send you his info. But he's good. He loves doing horror themed tattoos, but he'll do anything you want. He's incredible. Yeah. Really good. I'm definitely giving him. Go ahead, do your shout out.
Mine was Sean Arnold. He's I think he works at Thunderbird Tattoo in Los Angeles, so he's amazing as well.
Awesome.
Does it horror stuff, but also a lot of like fine art and Art Nouveau and really great artists. He can do whatever. So
it's perfect. Thank you, tattoo guys.
Yeah. I know. I feel bad for them right now. They're all the shops and everything. Their income. It's a very hard time for artists and even like tattoo artists and everybody that we don't really think about on a day-to-day basis. We just go and use them. I think they're essential, but
I agree. Yeah. I believe they're absolutely essential, especially, I'm struggling my hair salon. It's a horror themed hair salon. They're also an art gallery. They do all kinds of hair. So I just want them to make it. I'm actually trying to pull something together for Boardners because, they're in a lot of trouble right now too. And it's just funny, but I don't want to get into the politics of how the counties and states are picking and choosing what's essential, but holy shit, we'll see what happens. Now, when this all started, you and I were on the same page. We agreed that this whole thing was like a harsh reminder of how quickly our liberties can just be stripped from us overnight. did you still, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was fucking pissed when this started. I felt that it was just, it was too late, you know what I mean? And then they decided on my birthday of all things to shut the state of California down. So I felt really insignificant.
Yeah.
I was annoyed. That was the emotion that I was feeling. I was annoyed, I was pissed, and I was afraid. Do you still, when you posted that particular comment and I reshared it, how are you feeling at that point? Do you still feel that way now?
I mean, I feel there's a great interview with Elon Musk, and I think he with Joe Rogan, and he really put it into perspective. He really said something like, it's our constitutional right to go outside, to choose whether or not we want to become sick, whether it's our right to go outside, it's our right to do these things. But at the same time, you know, we have to also understand that some things are beyond our intelligence. We are not all knowing. We are not aware of what's going on in every situation. I would really love to have my hair done. You know, my hair looks like shit. There's things I would really love just to be able to do, to have the freedom to have these people work. But is that really necessary? Is that really something that I need? No, I just want it. I think in a way it does take away our freedom. It does take away our rights. And at the same time, I think it's such a controversial thing. If they had given more support, especially in the United States, to these workers, to the hair salons, to the artists, if they had given more support and not just 1,200 or whatever they gave them for their checks, if they had given more support, if they had been more, able to help sustain these people, it would be better. But because there was no support and there was no freedom, and everyone was in lockdown, and we've had flus and viruses like this before with higher numbers, it's quite confusing, and it does build an anger in you, and so I don't really know where I stand, to be honest. I think I'm really okay with following rules, but I'm in a privileged situation. I can travel. I'm in Belgium. I really don't know the feeling of the United States besides Facebook, and it doesn't feel good there. When I log on, I don't log on anymore. So it's a pretty strange time.
It's very interesting, and I keep trying to tell my kids, even, like, you guys are living in a time where you should be evaluating the situation. Oh, I'm frozen, by the way. But you can still hear me, right?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, as long as you can hear me, I could stay frozen because I look good where I'm at. But like telling my kids, it's what a time in history, what a time to be alive. Actually, once I accepted the whole thing, it is hard on a day-to-day basis, and looking at, you're right, our freedoms, you and I, and a lot of our friends are in a privileged spot where we can be okay, where a lot of people are not okay. So if we definitely want to I do what I can, but I can't blame you for not wanting to log on Facebook, because it's a shit show here. So with everything, you were saying that you're taking a break from Deerwomen. So you posted the other day, all orders are 35% off, and I'm like, yay! I've actually been keeping my Deerwomen stash to a minimum. To me, it was like a sacrifice, during all this. It was a little bit of a sacrifice to give up a little bit of my ritual tea for a greater purpose. But I am indulging today. But I do, because I know how your process works. So you put out the sale there.
So what have you been working on while you're out there? What books are you reading? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been reading quite a bit. This Airbnb is amazing. They had a full library almost. So I have been reading a lot of Agrippa for ritual magic, but it's in French. Interesting, I found that in the Airbnb library, an occult book, which was quite strange. And then I found this book, which I highly recommend. It's called The Art of Travel. And it's really great. It has stories from Baudelaire and from all of these poets and wonderful writers who have traveled, and it kind of goes over their personal diaries and their experiences with travel and the philosophies behind what travel does to the psyche and the psychology of it, and it's really a beautiful book. I wish I discovered it way before. And I've been doing lots of tarot, divination, and also the class with Yannicka and who's Pam Grossman. I also did that class here a couple weeks ago. And I've been walking a lot. There's a lot of nature parks here, so getting inspiration from Woldenberg and Middelheim, the art sculpture parks here. So Belgium is really diverse with art culture, even when the museums are all closed. It's a great place to just walk around and see the architecture, see the sculptures. So that's been giving me a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of elderflower right now in bloom, a lot of herbs.
Ooh.
So I'm really blessed with people who know. Everyone here has plants and they know their plants, and it's very. I'm very blessed with people who really care for me. And it's good.
That's awesome, and I was hoping that would be the case too. Like, I can kind of feel your vibe sometimes. And sorry, my camera's there. My camera is there, but as long as I can hear you, that's all I care about. So. Here, the next question I had was, you put out this really good video, Blood in Egypt. That was beautiful, and I feel like that was during quarantine. Tell me about when you made that. You make some incredible, like, you don't just say, oh, hey, here, look, I have a tea. Let me just post on my tea. You make it beautiful. You make it dramatic. You bring us back. You make us feel your work, and I absolutely adore that. Can you tell us about the process of making that video?
Well, Blood in Egypt came from inspiration I had, of course, because of Egyptian culture, the occult, really about transformation. I had a lot of people who participated in that. I also did the photo shoot with it with Ashley Jonkus, and then Grant was my videographer. And the concept was just really about Egypt, and I did that before quarantine. So the thing with the tea is that it's inspired by culture, by these things such as Marjorie Cameron.
Hold on, Jessica. Hold on one sec, babe. I'm sorry. Your audio cut out. The fairies are still fucking with my stuff.
I think that, yeah.
I'm going to have to make an offering here today.
You should have saged the house.
I did. I've been saging the house.
As well. It's been quite technologically not advanced in Belgium. Nobody here has a smartphone, and the internet is
really.
Yeah, everyone has a brick still, so it's beautiful. I love it.
And that's really inspiring, because I really think that during all this, people still need to take a time to disconnect from the technology. Even myself, I'm planning on it. I have a busy month ahead of me, but I do intend to take a break. Summer is my winter. I'll be cozied up with books in July with my air conditioner and minimal technology.
We're all cyborgs, we all are lost without our arm if we forget our phones. So we're all like these cyborg, superhuman people now with our phones, and yeah, without it, we're not as smart, apparently. So.
Right? That's what I felt, I wouldn't say smart, I just feel more awake when I don't have it on me. I do feel like I'm plugged into the Matrix half the time. Because none of this shit, it's all beautiful, but it's not real either. So we have to keep that in mind. So you mentioned before how you adjusted to your ritual, how you perform your rituals, that you were kind of slacking on that. Have you picked up new ways to perform your daily rituals while you're out there, or how have you been adjusting your rituals?
With travel, it's really hard to bring stuff. So my tea and everything, I gave it away the first weeks I was here. So my tea rituals I've been indulging in other brands and other herbs that, like Provence. There's this really good Provence tea that I'm obsessed with right now. It's very inspiring. And I incorporate that into divination, and really right now my ritual is really closely linked to divination. I carry my tarot cards everywhere, so I've been working with those very closely right now. I have this beautiful deck that I've been really getting to know, and doing readings for other people, and just sharing what I can in Belgium that I bring back from my travels and California, and I think part of my ritual has just been not even structured ritual anymore. Like before in California, I would have my daily routine. I would get up, I would do my hape, I would, light my incense. Now I don't even really need those. I have tobacco, and I have things that I do that I carry with me on a day-to-day basis.
That's
so
awesome.
It's more of a it's more free-form ritual, I would say.
That's awesome. Do you put anything, have you been writing them down and putting them like in your grimoire or anything like that?
Yeah, I've been writing quite a bit. I think everybody should write during this time because it's a really important time. Chronicle and journal and ritual. All these occultists, I really wanted to create a collective of occultists who are in this quarantine and see how everyone individually has gotten through it with ritual and in terms of magic.
That would be a good idea for like a book, Jess.
I know. I've been thinking about it, but
let me water your plant. Let's see here. I don't know if you can say whether or not, what can we expect from you when you return? Are you just letting everything just happen, or what are you hoping for when you get back?
It's been quite incredible. I don't have really much inspiration while I'm here. I'm very much just tuning out of social media, tuning out of the world. I have a ton of orders to go to when I get back, so I'll probably be quarantining myself and just working, getting everyone's orders out, getting everyone's teas out. But when I was here, there were so many plants, there was so much nature, there was so much inspiration. So I'm going to be rebranding Deerwomen. I'm going to be completely coming out with a kind of a new feel inspired by my time here in Belgium. It's going to still be dark, but it will be very much more of a creation process. I want to put things out there more. I want to be more of a company that adds to society and doesn't create for consumption or for consumerism. It's going to really add more philosophical thinking to the product, and that's something that I've been thinking about for a long time, but now I know how to go about it. So,
this is very interesting that, a lot of this, again, these are things that I think about as well. A rebrand doesn't sound like a bad idea, and I believe that a lot of artists and creatives are going that route. So, of course, you're one of my absolute favorites. I can't wait to see what happens, but of course, I will be patient. I wanted to tell you that, I don't know if you saw or not, but, a few weeks ago, I was, relaxing, and it was a very successful full moon, and then it was a beautiful new moon, and then it went into the the snow moon ritual. There was this beautiful energy that Chuck and I even felt when we sat down and we did indulge in some tea, our Della Morte Dell'Amore, that's Chuck's favorite, and we watched Cemetery Man, Della Morte Dell'Amore, for the first time. Thank you, YouTube. I never realized how resourceful. So I wanted to share that with you, but you were in our thoughts and our hearts that whole time. And yeah, now I can see. I can't believe it took me so long to see it. What a great fucking movie. It was beautiful, and I can't get over the love story. It was really funny.
It's really special. There's nothing like it. No one else has created anything like that. It's something that I would never want to see a remake. I would never want to see a number 2, but it's so special, and it's such a it inspired the whole Della Morte Dell'Amore tea with the Italian splatter horror film kind of genre, and just everything it's such a decadent movie, and a horror film and a zombie film and everything, and romance.
It gave us everything. You weren't kidding. We were so impressed with it. Not that I ever denied that you had excellent taste in horror films. Have you been able to catch anything, or are you said that you are disconnected? Have you caught anything new while you're out there on the TV front?
Well, I'm in Belgium, so Belgium's known for, its art culture, its cinema. It's very strange cinema. I know a good friend of mine, Jonas Govert, he does Tabula Rosa. I can't even pronounce it. It's on Netflix. And then I also watched this one, The Sexuality of the Belgian. It's really weird, but it's very Belgian, and it's kind of an older film. Watching a lot of Spanish films, actually. I've gotten very connected to Spanish comedies, which is kind of weird. why. Like, I Love You Stupid came out on Netflix. It's called I Love You Stupid, and I don't know how to translate that in imbecile or something, but it's just like a dumb, cheesy Spanish romantic comedies. They all have the same actors. The same actress always plays the mother. They're always like bad versus Cotillion, these fights. But it's really, really like for me, I don't know, it clears my head. I don't know.
Whatever works, we're tapping into, we're going deep within ourselves and finding out, we're rediscovering ourselves. It's a rebirth. This whole thing has been a huge shift. And again, I'm sympathetic to everyone's plight. But it's funny how we are finding, even though some of us are really distracted with the social medias and, keeping businesses alive. I just did a blog on the virtual realm. I can't believe that I can go club hopping from my couch. It's impressive. But and that's something I would have shunned, a month ago. So it is really incredible how we're just diving in and finding stuff out.
There's virtual bars now. There's things that are new inventions, things people don't have to leave the house for. It's really like stretching us as a culture. That's good.
It's awesome. So that's the positive in all this stuff. So when you return to the stage, you know that everything is canceled. There won't be any shows. I just said 2020 is canceled for the horror front, for, a lot of the shows that we wanted to do. Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to? Oh, go ahead.
I have Rammstein tickets in September. I was looking forward to that show. I'm really, really hoping that still goes on, but I don't know. There was a lot this summer. I had oddities. We had, a lot of events that were planned everything has been canceled. So I don't know what the next things will be. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but I'm hoping that when I go back to the States, there'll be some kind of movement happening and the COVID won't come back, etc. So
I can assure you there are some things in the works, but it'll be more virtual. Let's talk about Rammstein for just a second. I was going to drop $1,600 to make sure that my kids and I, we went as a family, and I bought patio furniture instead. So, because I don't think it's going to happen. Have you seen them perform before?
I haven't. Actually, a friend of mine told me I have to go. They toured with them, and I'm very excited to see them for the first time. So it's on my birthday. It's September 19th. So, yeah. So I'm very much sitting on those tickets. They canceled their whole European tour for this year. And so I'm hoping the US tour is still going on. But they're amazing artists, and their music videos and everything, I've followed them since I was a teenager. So hopefully September 19th.
I could tell you we saw them a few years ago, and holy shit, you're going to be blown away. They are, I could at least say that, if I don't make it in September, which I hope, if it happens, I'll be there. I don't give a shit. But I can assure you, it's insane. I mean, your face is going to get burned off. I mean, it's incredible. It was like, I've told you before, like, there's some experiences that I've had with certain musicians, and they're just one of them. They even stupefied Chuck. It was amazing. So I really do hope that it happens, especially for your birthday. I don't want your birthday to be like my birthday. I had all these plans, but, good things came out of it after all. So, all right, sweetheart. Well, I'm going to, do you have anything else that you want to give, the audience out there on Jessica? I really appreciate the update. I'm glad that you're okay. I'm glad you gave me your time, but is there anything else that you want to put out there?
Not that I can think of, just that I'm really happy to see you, and we have we have all orders coming out when I get back, and a completely rebrand based on time spent and inspiration in Europe, and just everyone just needs to really just stay healthy and positive during this time, and still mystical and really just kind of support artists, support small businesses, support artists, really help people, because it's a struggle for everyone in a different way, you know, and I think everybody's going to come out hopefully better and not just the same, because everybody has learned so much, and we don't need to forget that. So yeah,
I can agree with you 1,000% if that's a thing. Okay, everyone, make sure that you do check out Deerwomen on Instagram. It's very easy. I will also post your links and whatnot. Just be patient. Don't be an asshole. I can tell you that right now. As you can see, she's in Belgium, people. So one-man show, one-woman show. Thank you very much, Jess. I hope to talk to you soon. Keep in touch with me, and thanks for coming on. Shut the fuck up.